Hair care time in the morning.
Good morning.
You're doing things. Yes, it
Happy
is morning.
Taters Tuesday. We've been out here a week so far, which is why I need to redo my hair, try to get some more of those stray locks back into my braids, especially because we're going into town today. I don't want to look, too crazy.
Too Matt-like.
Today we'll feature two portages around dams. The first one goes through the Pokegama campground area, and then the second one goes straight through downtown Grand Rapids, which is also going to be our resupply stop.
Featuring beer.
Yeah, there is a brewery kind of close to the route, so that might be a nice lunch spot if we can get over there with the boat. We're looking forward to getting some fresh food, trying some new variety food options. Matt's got a really nice new green Yeti soup thermos. So
it's overpriced and it's Yeti, so I disapprove. However, it's green, so
we're gonna try getting some soups so that we can heat those up in the morning and sip them over the course of the morning for some more substantial mood.
Sip.
And we're also hoping to meet up with the amazing River Angel Rick, who got our boat for us.
And more importantly, permethrin. He has permethrin. We appreciate the boat. We adore him for permethrin right now because there are mosquitoes everywhere. Yeah, you can see them in the background.
So we had a couple of cars come by this morning and nobody messed with us. Mosquitoes are about as expected.
This is the best mosquitoes we've had since we've started.
Oh, the bar has been lowered so much. See the relationship comment from like a couple of days ago. What? Oh, she's glaring at somebody behind me again. For the record, the mosquitoes that Tater says, I've only had 3 cups of coffee and not nearly enough sleep after yesterday. Anyway, the mosquitoes that Tater say are the best we have seen are what we would normally call horrendous. And there she goes. Taters is not coming out of the pit toilet until we have 5,000 subscribers, because I'm locking the door. So if you notice a certain lack of talking from me yesterday, my stomach was kind of bothering me, so that seems to be the trick in getting Jen to talk more, because yesterday I was just editing the video from there, and it was like Taters Tuesday level of talking. I've told her that now that it's actually, hey, we don't have 5,000 subscribers, back in. What were you just doing? See, I can't see her back there, so she's just doing all sorts of weird things like, picking her nose, God knows what. And then whenever I put the camera like this, I'm like, what? Yeah. Anyway, we're just gonna cut Taters out of the scene here. See, what I was going to say, if you enjoyed yesterday, all paddling, zen, none of the other bullshit you're probably gonna hate today, because we have 2 portages and God knows whatever. And okay, count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Taters is okay. You're looking normal. Okay, fair enough. Super peaceful if you just ignore the operating power plant and the trains behind us. So if you're wondering about the fact we go through sections that have a high amount of current and then it seems to go super still like this, it's the dams. Below the dam, it's going to be moving again. Whenever the current kind of disappears, that's when I expect that we're going to hit the next dam like this. And we have reached the Pokemon Gamma. Pokemon Gamma? I know. This is the first portage of the day.
We're trying out the canoe cart for the first time today, which I'm excited about because I really dislike carrying the boat. Even though this one is light and a lot better to carry than others, it's still very uncomfortable to carry. Also, I have fond memories of our first canoe trip, the Sayward Canoe Route,
where we portaged.
Yeah, that is how we learned the word, and I don't think Matt's changing his pronunciation. Sorry guys. Fond memories of walking along, trying to maneuver the cart over many rocks and branches, and lots of joking. Thanks, Matt. The portages on this are thankfully much easier than the portages on the Sayward Canoe Route.
best thing about this is the back of the boat doesn't complain.
Easy, look at that. Less than a minute to get on, and now he can just stroll across. That was so nice.
AKA Matt moved the boat forward.
We went back and forth for a while on whether it was worth the space and weight to actually carry the cart on this trip.
I decided yes when somebody sent me a picture of them carting the boat to a brewery. Carrying, I'm fine. This, not so good. She can't donate plasma because her arms are so wimpy, and I'm like, she needs to work because that's how people pay for trips. Blood. I did get somebody wanting to buy my poop though. I got a lot of that. That was depressingly easy.
Taters has made the acquaintance of leeches at long last. So far it's been me in it.
I'm torn because like they're kind of cute, but they also feel really gross on your skin.
I could make a joke, but I'm not going to.
We're paddling through Grand Rapids. This is the Blandon Paper Mill. It is a fairly long portage. Some people actually
Portage.
Some people get driven around this, but with our cart, it's gonna be nice and easy to just stroll through town.
Says the person who's not using the cart.
Thank you, Matt. We're gonna hang out at a park, or park the boat at a park, hang out while I go run and get, that doesn't make sense. You're gonna cut this, Matt. General plan is we're going to do the portage, hang out at the steamboat park, meet River Angel Rick with the permethrin. Matt,
Oh my God, are you Rick with the permethrin?
Matt can maybe, hopefully start treating some of our gear at the park while I run and get some groceries and some kind of good yummy lunch treat for us.
Burger.
I'm not sure we can do that,
French
but
fries.
Well, Rick with the permethrin did warn us that it looked like we were going to be portaging through somebody's backyard, and yes, good thing that sign exists.
good thing I have my own portage assistance.
10:30 in the morning, and we're already on our second portage.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Matt. You're amazing. He even took the jug of full water. 2.5 gallons of water plus a boat.
In addition to River Angel Rick, who was waiting for us at the launch, turns out we had caught up to Tom and Jackie again.
Goodbye, Taters. Bring me a hamburger, lots of fries. Like 2 orders of fries, potentially, and a Dr. Pepper.
Okay, all right.
And there go the speedsters.
Well, they're gone. So, okay.
Jen is currently resupplying, and I have been sitting here treating things with permethrin, if you see that glorious little yellow bottle. So I have treated the outside of the tent to try and dissuade the ticks, even if it doesn't really soak in, and the set of clothing we're not wearing. We'll do the ones we're wearing tonight and dry them overnight. So these Crocs were a solution to not bringing town shoes along. Originally, I was going to bring a pair of my light hikers, figuring, okay, well, if we need to walk a couple of miles to get food or anything. But when we started actually packing, you know, you have a limited volume, especially with what we're trying to do as far as the portages and everything. And these have worked really, really well. They're indestructible, they're floatable. You can dig them out of the mud reasonably well when you bury them, you know, down past your knee. Also, I have to say, I was really debating whether to get a cart or not. I mean, we like them where they're appropriate, but we specifically got the lighter boat so we'd be able to carry, and most of these are relatively straightforward. But this has worked out well, even if we weren't able to roll past the brewery today.
As it turned out, Taters had not been intending to get me a hamburger and a Dr. Pepper, but once again, River Angel Rick came through.
And it is 1 o'clock and we are launching. Just pretend Taters is the one narrating and said, and I saw a goose and it was super cute.
There's more baby geese right over there.
Yes, there are so many baby geese. Don't get close, the mothers will attack.
More likely they'll just run away.
No, that was the ducks. So I am going to call that a fairly efficient resupply, considering there were 3 people for me to talk to and we are getting out of here. Granted, all the people left and we're only leaving now that they're all gone. So if any of them had hung around, we probably would still be there.
Very, very efficient.
Okay, that's not a hooligan. Well, it is, but that is our hooligan. You might recognize her from the interview with Tater's Less Butt Cheek a couple of days ago. She is actually going for wine. This is one of those states where they have weird liquor laws, so this made the most sense. Nicely done! Okay, wine was acquired. We are sailing on. We have now visited with all the nice people. We have all the yummy things. We have the anti-tick things, the anti-rain things. And now we have to get back to doing actual work and moving down the river.
Did you get to see his tail?
I saw him just as he was entering the water, so he was swimming along.
So we learned from River Angel Rick that those things, I was assuming that every kind of like furry head coming out of the water I saw was either a beaver or an otter, but those I can tell the difference of by their face. But we learned there's another adorable little river mammal out here called a muskrat, which looks really cute. It almost, I think it looks kind of a little bit like a pika, which is like my favorite non-aquatic animal. And we also saw a whole bunch of turtles. We saw a lot of really tiny turtles, like I could hold in my hand tiny. And then we saw one really big turtle that actually kind of flopped over on its back and then flopped itself back right side up, which was good because normally we would try to go help it, but I would be afraid to help a turtle that big. Probably snap our paddle.
We have been seeing a ton of bald eagles all over the place. We've seen a couple of them dive into the water but not come up with anything. I guess the plus side of this trip is after the headwater smacks you in the face repeatedly with a baseball bat, you get down here and you're just like, ah. And then you get to camp and you're like, ah.
So these bird nests are really unique. We've seen them in a couple of places where there's a dirt wall on the river like this. Each of those holes has little birds flying in and out of it.
Each of my holes. So once again, the campsites up ahead don't really line up. We have one that's a little too early and one that's a little too late, and that's going to start adding up if we keep sticking to that. However, once again, we have been seeing a lot of things that would work pretty well as just kind of dispersed sandbar camps and things like that. So what we're thinking is we're just going to push on and camp somewhere in between. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? That hasn't burned us for literally 12 hours?
But this shoreline has been nice all the way since Grand Rapids.
Granted, yesterday it was really nice until it got late, and then it changed and we were in the middle of Blackwater.
It's about 6:45, getting into our favorite time of day. The river is extremely peaceful. Little bit of smoke in the sky, maybe from fires up in Canada. Lots of birds singing and lots of little caterpillars swimming across the river, which seems like it would be terrifying.
Attempting to swim across the river. They appear like they're headed for St. Louis.
Yeah, I don't know if I should be sad for you and try to help you or be proud of you. Happy for you. The adult forms of several moths and butterflies.
Have I mentioned how much I love just floating down a river and not having to fight a headwind up a river? Okay, so we are trying something different. We heard from up ahead that we have friends in the campsite ahead. They recommended a sandbar. We kind of wanted that anyway. We found one that is a little bit open. We were hoping for less mosquitoes. That hope has not been, fulfilled. Okay, I am going to start drinking permethrin.
This is what you call Picture perfect sandbar camping. Yeah, really happy that we found this. This is what I've been waiting for.
I was feeling hopeful all day when it was nice out. Now we had the bug spray. And now we are back in hordes of mosquitoes, even though we're not back in the vegetation. We thought maybe if we stayed closer to the river, you know, with more breeze, we might get less of them. But no, trying to pee was horrific. So Jen has picked the most satisfying duty tonight. I got to do it when we were on the beach, which is applying permethrin to clothing. Spray it all. Go collect ticks, put them in a pile and spray it on them, Jen. Watch them scream. Video it and we will like put screaming back. How happy were you when you found like a tick in your belly button? So we both basically treated the set of clothing we were not wearing and the tent while we were at the dock earlier. And now the pair of clothes that we were wearing, we're going to spray those, let them dry overnight. We're not super worried about this chemical. This one is a lot more safe per everything we have read versus like DEET or Thermacell. But still, this is a lot easier to do if you have a home and you're in between trips. So she is actually out there. Those are the clothes that I treated earlier. And you might note that she is not wearing a rain jacket, which is not something you do at 8:30 at night in Minnesota, period. I would say unless you're suicidal or just crazy, but I think even the nut houses and the people who want to die wouldn't put themselves through that. The other thing is we have had a ritual, which is every time we get in or out of the tent or Jen opens the zipper just enough for me to like make coffee, we have to kill like 100 mosquitoes that dive in and they go straight for you. These aren't the mosquitoes that just go up to the top and sit there. I was able to get into the tent and I only had about 10. That is amazing considering how many I had on me. So we're going to call this at least a reasonable success. I have seen mosquitoes diving through like 60% DEET to bite people. Sometimes they just don't care and they'll dive through. But even if we can just get a break and a little bit of a buffer. The only problem we're still going to have is, oh yeah, see, we have a few of them. Going to the bathroom in the morning is absolute misery because you got to have your pants down and you just get swarmed. When I was at Smilin' Joe's, which we're now calling Joe's Rectal Cancer Camp because it was that bad, I looked down and my entire thigh was just covered with them. When we got to the resort and I was taking a shower, I was like taking handfuls out of the dead ones out of my underwear that I just couldn't clean up out there. Yay! Who wants to come to Minnesota with us?
We have a happy sandbar camp right on the river. The newly treated clothes and gear are making the mosquitoes more habitable.
No ticks on the tent for the first time this entire trip.
There are these caterpillars, the same ones that were swimming on the water. They're all over everything. We're not sure what they are. We think they might be the stinging buck moth caterpillars. And we have our usual first night out of town dinner. Pesto tortellini with cherry tomatoes and basil and apothic red wine. Home sweet home for the night. Matthew, don't be ridiculous.
Each of my holes has little birds flying.
Okay, you gotta cut that, Matt.